Hey guys, so today we're going to start our discussion on the war in the Pacific. So we talked about already the Navajo Code Talkers who are going to play a crucial role in the United States beating Japan. But today we're going to talk about our first battle. And you have to keep in mind the United States is doing something what we call island hopping. And island hopping is basically jumping from one island to another and ultimately moving into the main territory, the main peninsula of Japan and beating Japan. So the United States has already invaded Europe and has already had Normandy and they've had success in Europe. Now we're going to shift our attention over to the Pacific. So keep in mind a few things. The Battle of Midway took place 6 months after Pearl Harbor, meaning the United States fleet was not fully recovered. So they're not able to send as much military personnel as they would have liked to the Pacific. They're really just kind of there to prevent another attack from happening. With that being said, the Midway is going to be right around this area. And as you can see, they come in June. And it's right around here. And then you see that they took other islands. But right around here in June is when the battle is going to occur. Okay. So the whole idea is we're going to take all these little islands. We're going to stop Japan from being able to send ships out to those islands and then ultimately move in and take over the peninsula of Japan. So, with that being said, the Island of the Midway, or the Battle of the Midway, I should say, happened June 4th, 1942. Again, this is only 6 months after Pearl Harbor. So, this is why the American fleet is so small in comparison to what Japan's going to be sending out. Okay. With that being said, Americans knew about the attack. They didn't it's not like Japan called them and was like, oh, hey, we're going to attack you today. Here's what happened. They knew that Japan was planning to attack them in the Pacific. What they did not know is what day and where. So, what they did in the Midway, in the fleet that they had in the Midway, they sent out like a call for help. They didn't send out a call for help to Japan. They sent out a fake call for help to the United States. With that being said, when Japan intercepted the call, they were like, oh my gosh, the United States needs help. We're going to attack them on this day. Japan then tells other Japanese fleets and other Japanese military personnel they need help. We're going to attack them on this day. Little did they know that the United States was waiting for them on the morning of June 4th. So the morning of June 4th, Japan comes and they start, they believe that they're bombing Americans. And they are, but they're not, they're kind of decoys. So they destroy like one fleet for the United States, but that again was a decoy. What ends up happening is when Japan returns to refuel and rearm, they're being followed by the United States as they were sitting there waiting for them. It takes about 2 hours for the United States to get there. And boom, you have the USS Enterprise, the USS Hornet, and the USS Yorktown, which completely immediately destroy 3 of the 4 carriers for Japan. Okay, this is going to leave the Japan fleet called the Yuri left to basically fight against these 3 battleships and to basically refuel, rearm all of Japan's fleet. Ultimately, what ends up happening is the Yuri is able to fight off Americans for quite some time. It takes about all day, and they're able to actually fight off Americans. Ultimately, it was the USS Yorktown that sent a torpedo that led to the Japanese fleet or the Japan fleet of the Yuri to sink. Fun fact about Yorktown is Yorktown was the last major battle of the American Revolution. In doing so, that is when Great Britain surrendered to the United States and left all their weapons behind. Now, Japan never surrenders. I mean, we're going to learn about that later, but Japan never surrenders. However, if you're sinking your own ship by your own Navy, I'm going to call that a surrender. So there you have it, Battle of the Midway.